Welcome back to the Book Sherpa YouTube channel. As you can see, I am a person that wears many hats. Today, it's all about healing, energy healing. At 15, I began learning about all things self-help and self-development, inspired by the late, great Louise Hay, the one and only. At this time, I also began doing oracle card and angel card readings for people, mostly for my mum. Shout out to my mum, Jan. And then beyond my teens and into adulthood, this later morphed into completing the basic and advanced training in Reiki. And for anyone who doesn't know about Reiki, it essentially is called hands-on healing. And you can go and look up lots of information out there about how Reiki works. And now a session in my healing practice basically involves a combination of all these modalities, as well as chakra clearings, mediumship where I connect with deceased loved ones, and cord clearings. I actually just finished a session with a client who had some massive cords weighing her down, and essentially I was able to facilitate removing the block that she had described that had been stopping her from going forward in the direction of her dreams, and now she's floating on air. Today I'm going to share a bit of information about cord clearings and how they work and why they're so powerful, and then I'm going to provide you with an opportunity for you to release some cords yourself through a channeled meditation by me. I'll make a note in the description of the point in the video where the meditation starts from, so that you can easily access it whenever you want to clear the cords for yourself in the future, because I know that once you try this, you are going to love it, and it's going to really enhance your life. I promise that if you take some quiet time where you'll be uninterrupted for about 10 minutes and allow me to guide you through this process, that you will feel better, so much lighter. You'll gain clarity and energy. And who doesn't want that these days with everything that people have going on in their lives? Feel free to communicate your results in the chat if you're open to sharing. Now, don't worry if you don't consider yourself as someone who can't visualize. You can just listen to my words and surrender to this process. Regardless of what you might see, hear, think, feel, or even just sense, you will get benefits from this clearing by just listening to it. So let's cover the basics first. One thing that all mystics, healers, and scientists agree on is that everything is composed of energy. So if you looked at an object under a microscope, a powerful one, you would see that there's constant movement and interaction of particles, revealing that everything is composed of energy in various forms and manifestations. Energy, sometimes referred to as qi, flows within and around the human body. Now, traditional Chinese medicine, energy systems like the Chinese meridian system and the Indian have the chakra system, further explain how energy flows through these channels. Now, while cord clearings are primarily based on energetic and holistic principles, it's important to note that there have been scientific studies conducted which explore the impact of emotional states on the body and the mind-body connection and the benefits of stress reduction techniques, which are all in the realm of energy healing. Cord clearing is a practice often used in energy healing to release and remove energetic cords, attachments, or strands between individuals, situations, past trauma, pretty much anything that you feel might be keeping you from moving forward in your life. It removes any negativity and dysfunction, revealing only positive and peaceful feelings. So as I say to people who are having a session with me, we release the toxic elements, the dysfunctional elements, and basically what you're left with is the love and the peace, and really the freedom to be yourself, which is what any of us want. So these cords represent energetic connections that can form between ourselves and all those things I mentioned: other people, situations, past trauma and incidences, objects, pretty much anything. And these cords may be formed through various types of interactions and the emotional bonds that we form. So, in other words, emotions and thoughts can influence our energetic field and create these attachments or cords. Now, naturally, the more intense the emotion, the conflict, or the unresolved issue, the heavier and stronger the cords. So, if you have an ex partner and every time you think of them and you automatically feel this negative emotion like anger or resentment, hurt, sadness, unforgiveness, this is keeping those energetic cords connected between the two of you. And generally, it's not until you have some form of healing or clearing that you can release these negative connections, and then you'll begin to feel better. The memories will be there, but they won't have the same heavy energetic drain or charge to them. Now, I will say there are a number of ways you can release those cords with those people that you don't want to have those negative attachments to. So cord clearing is a way to do that. And, you know, if you've done a lot of self-care, sometimes doing things like writing forgiveness letters and burning them, there's different ways you can go about that. But in my experience, having a cord clearing is the quickest and easiest way to release those cords. You know, because like we've all experienced that sensation when we've you know, been giving too much, doing too much, or giving our power away to others, and we feel energetically drained. It's like an energy leakage. So the purpose of a cord clearing is to identify and release any unhealthy or draining energetic connections. The cords are visualized, or as I said before, sensed, and then consciously released and dissolved. So this is what allows for a healthier energy flow and a sense of personal empowerment. That's the feeling of freedom to be yourself that I mentioned, where you know exactly what you need to do for yourself at any given time and you can act without delay. That's pretty much the golden place to be, isn't it? To be able to do what you need to do without the doubt, without the fear, without something pulling you back, without someone else's agenda. The best way I can describe cord clearings, and sometimes they're referred to as cord cuttings, is that it is a simple yet powerful healing technique of removing and dissolving the emotional, energetic strands that have become attached to you. After all, as I said, everything is energy and it's not all positive. So, you know that feeling when you've walked into a room and you can just tell there's been an argument, but you have no proof, you didn't hear it, you didn't see it, but you can sense that the energy is heavy or stuck or it doesn't feel right. Well, every time we have a negative situation, strands, which I describe like sticky webs, can keep us attached to those incidences and even the people who were involved. So over time, these cords, they build up and they weigh us down and they cause us to feel lethargic and foggy or confused and torn between what our head and our heart wants to do. And then there's that indecision that creeps in, or, you know, these build up of cords will most certainly cause a feeling of fatigue and you'll lack clarity to make the best decisions for yourself. It can really start to permeate every aspect of your life if your cords are thick and heavy and they haven't been cleared. With my clients, we focus on clearing the cords relating to a particular situation or a person, and we clear away any negative energy, which, as I said, leaves behind the peace and love. It feels miraculous, yet it has the power to be so life-changing. Most of my clients report feeling at peace, sometimes a deep peace that they've never felt before. They feel lighter, like a huge weight has been lifted off them. There's often a radiance and a glow that comes from releasing any past issues. And it's understandable because these things have been weighing them down and holding them back. Others report feeling a sense of emotional relief. They get this increased energy. I had one lady say, "Oh, I feel like I could run a marathon now." She was just raring to go. She just felt so much relief. People report improved relationships or just a greater sense of self. People always feel deeply relaxed, and there's a sense of new calm that washes over them, and they're often able to access within themselves clarity, purpose, motivation, and direction. So they have this real sense of what they need to do. And sometimes when we've held on to some dreams for a really long time, and maybe we've had opportunities to go after them, and we've shied away from those, or we've held ourselves back. Suddenly, when the cords are clear, there's nothing holding that person back anymore, and they start to make decisions for themselves that are taking them in the direction of their dreams. I've even cleared cords on myself, with myself, when I've identified that I've been engaging in self-sabotaging behaviors, or I've been procrastinating, or overwhelmed. And, during the meditation, the process, I just imagine that I'm standing opposite myself, and I'm sensing or experiencing the issue that I'm having, and then I cut the cords with that aspect of me, with the procrastination or the overwhelm or the issue with time management, whatever it might be. I remember one client who came to me for Reiki, and we did a cord clearing between her and her ex. She shared custody of the kids with him, and basically what was happening was every time she would drop the kids off, he would trigger her by saying something unkind, or use words against her to push her buttons. And she wasn't liking how she was reacting to that situation. So we did the cord clearing, and the very next time that she visited him, he was completely different. As she described to me, it was like he was the person that she first met, who was kind and caring. He asked how she was and how her day was. He wasn't being unkind. He was like the person that she remembered. Now, her ex was someone who had developed this really unhealthy pattern of behavior, and suddenly it was gone, and he was being unexpectedly nice. Now, this did not mean that she was meant to rekindle their relationship. What it was, and I mean, that can happen in relationships, but in her case, what it meant was that she was meant to experience a more positive relationship with him, especially in light of sharing their children together, and having a life with their children together, and having that more positive interaction. So that's what it was all about. Sometimes I do get asked about the issue of free will, and is cord clearing a violation of that? And this is how I explain it, basically. Cord clearings it's a voluntary process that requires the explicit consent and intention of the individual seeking it. So I always ask my clients, say, look, I can see that a cord clearing would be beneficial, and I explain what's involved, just like I am doing today, and they are making that decision to participate in that process. And it's really about releasing, they know it's about releasing those energetic connections that don't serve them anymore. So it's a personal choice. Clearing cords is a tool that empowers individuals to take control of their own energy and emotional well-being. It allows them to let go of attachments, negative patterns, lingering emotions associated with a past relationship. And, the process of cord clearing can always respects personal boundaries. It respects the autonomy of both individuals that are involved. It's not about manipulating or interfering with another person's free will, but rather freeing oneself from energetic entanglements that hinder personal growth. So cord clearings enable individuals to reclaim their personal energy, which allows them to establish healthy boundaries. They gain clarity and they get to move forward in their own lives. It promotes personal growth, healing, and the ability to make conscious choices that are in alignment with their own well-being. So as you can see, there are only positives to gain from a cord clearing, and it's all about the impact that that we can have on our energetic well-being. You know, we have an energy field. Like I said, everything is energy, and taking care of our energetic field is just as important as taking care of our physical body. And while energy cords are not physically visible to most people, you know, until they're, say, in a process like myself as a practitioner, you know, where I've cleared cords for people, I visualize, I see cords represented as all sorts of things. Like they can be textures from tree roots to bamboo to concrete to chains to spears. I've seen flesh and all sorts of weird and wacky forms. The point is, it doesn't matter so much about what form they take, because these are just the physical visual representations which allow me to do my process. The visual cues are simply intended to bring awareness to the cords so they can be consciously released and dissolved. Now, you might see the cords represented by something today when we do this process, and each time you might see something different, and that's okay. If you're a visual person, whatever you see, whatever you get, and that's okay. So unless my client asks about the cords, or if I know that they're interested in knowing what shape and form they took, I generally don't reveal it, because once the cords are cleared, it doesn't matter. It becomes irrelevant. So it's important to note that while cord clearing can be a helpful practice for most individuals, its effectiveness and interpretation may vary from person to person. It's just like anything. You know, someone who goes to the gym and works out hard is going to get a different result to someone who, you know, goes and uses it as a social thing and chats and doesn't do much work or whatever. So it just depends on where you are and how much you want to, I guess, engage and immerse yourself in the process. And it does depend on a number of factors, like, you know, whether you're truly ready to let go, whether you can suspend any disbelief in the practice, because this might be the first time you're hearing about this sort of thing, whether you can wholeheartedly surrender to the process and trust that whatever takes place is for your highest good. Now, in my experience, every single time I've done a cord clearing with my clients, they have experienced only positive results. It's always created a release and an immediate shift in their life for the better. I just want to reiterate, this is like a completely safe space in doing the cord clearings, and the practice does not take away your free will. So one more thing before we get into the practice. I connect with and call on the archangels Michael and Raphael to help with this process. It's how I do it. If you are resistant to that type of healing energy or connotation or connection to the divine, I encourage you to try this at least once before you make any further judgment. Because I would ask you, does it really matter how you get to feel better? Is it worth turning your back on methods of healing, even though they can help you? So I'd like you to go in with an open mind and heart and let the results speak for themselves, because I'd hate to see people missing out on the benefits of a cord clearing just because they have those kind of connotations to archangels or the divine. What's most important about this is the intent and the openness of the individual that's, you know, seeking some relief and assistance. People have connected with the archangels who have connected with archangels have reported seeing and feeling different perceptions and interpretations. Now, I've been connecting with Archangel Michael for about 30 years, and I often see and sense him as this powerful, majestic figure. He has a loving warm but also commanding presence. He's comforting, reassuring. He has this radiant light surrounding him. I often see the color blue or deep purple, which is often associated with him. Sometimes those cues can really help us get in contact with the archangels. They have different colors and crystals and things like that. Michael is the protector archangel. So you only have to think Archangel Michael or say his name, and he can help you in any situation, which is especially helpful when you're feeling fear or doubt. And then you will feel his peace and strength. There's actually been books written about the miracles of connecting with Archangel Michael and how he has, helped people, when they're about to die or something's happened and he's delivered this miracle when they've called out his name or they're connected with him, just like you would, maybe other divine presences, or you say a prayer. Michael carries a sword, which represents his role as a warrior and a protector against negative energies and lower vibrations. And I ask him to use his sword to cut through the cords. That's how I do the process. Again, I've been connected with Archangel Raphael for about the same amount of time, ever since I was introduced to the archangels in my first Oracle card deck when I was 15. Archangel Raphael is known as the angel of healing. So if you're having any health issues out there, I strongly urge you to connect with Archangel Raphael. I often sense a vibrant emerald green light and energy, or green aura, when I'm connecting with him. Sometimes I see his wings, and other times I just sense like a tingling or a lightness, and I can sense his healing energy without a form. It just depends on the situation, what's happening. Connecting with Archangel Raphael will always bring a profound sense of calm, peace, and comfort. In my experience, I've received intuitive insights or guidance relating to health, well-being, including the healing journey for myself and my clients. Archangel Raphael assists not only with physical healing, but also emotional, mental, and spiritual healing. I call on Archangel Raphael after the cords have been cut to bring a soothing, healing warmth and energy to where the cords emanated from. So they can sometimes be in the physical body or in the energetic field, in the chakras, as I often see them. So I like to bring that healing to the end of the process. So now you know what's involved. Let's get started with this practice. Firstly, I want you to take a couple of moments to set yourself up in a place where it's quiet and you can focus without distractions and where you won't be interrupted. And we're going to start by really calming down our nervous system. So let's take a couple of big, deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's do that again. Big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. When you take another big, deep breath in through the nose, just say to yourself, I am here. Releasing, I let go. Big breath in, I am here. And a big breath out, I let go. Now, I want you to imagine that you're in a white space, plain white space. It's like a room. It could be a white room, but you don't know where the floor ends and the walls begin. It might have a roof, or you might be able to see out into the galaxy and the stars and out into the universe. Whatever you picture or sense is perfect for you. In this space, you can be standing or hovering. You can be looking through your own eyes or seeing it unfold as a movie or a feeling. I want you to feel completely safe in this space. This is only going to deliver positive results for you, this process. So as you're in this white space, this pure, sacred space, I want you to now see opposite you the situation or the person or the trauma that you've most struggled to let go of, or the thing that you really want to let go of now. You might get a sense of emotion. Don't worry, we're not going to stay in this feeling for long. I just want you to get a brief conjuring a sense of what is that thing, that situation, that trauma, that incident, that person, what someone said, what someone did that hurt you or caused you to feel pain or is holding you back from, living up to your full potential. What's that thing you've been struggling with? And I want you to see or feel or sense the energetic cords between you and this other person, object, incident, trauma, whatever it is. If you don't see the cords, you might sense them, and that's okay. Whatever form they take is perfect for you. And I'm now going to call on Archangel Michael to come forward, and using his sword of light and truth, he's going to cut down the middle of the cords that are between you and this other situation, person, place, thing, whatever it is that you need to let go of today. And as he's cutting down those cords, they're just falling by the wayside, falling beside you and the other person or situation. Just cutting through like a knife cuts through butter. It's easy. You're ready to let go. Now we're going to gently unplug the cords. We're going to remove them from wherever they were attached, whether they were in your physical body, in your energetic field, wherever they were connected to you, draining you. You're just going to gently, very gently unplug those cords, whatever they look like, whatever that you sense them as. Just removing them. You might want to bundle them all up as you're removing them and send them to the great universal light where they just dissolve into nothing. There's a clearing happening and your energy is being freed up right now. So keep taking any cords out, just clearing them up, cleaning it up, cleaning up your energy. And now we're going to gently do the same process with the other person or situation. Whatever it was that you saw or sensed that's been holding you back, we're just going to unplug one at a time, very gently, just taking our time. It's ready. You're ready. This is what needs to happen for you today. Just gently release. It's easy. And again, you might like to bundle those cords up and send them to the great universal light where they just dissolve into nothing. I'm going to thank Archangel Michael for helping us today. Clear those cords, cut those cords, release those cords, I'm going to ask Archangel Raphael to step forward, to be here with us, to now deliver the most amazing healing to where those cords were removed from. You might like to visualize yourself or sense a green cylinder of light, or it could be green liquid, some kind of energetic healing, whatever you feel or sense or see or hear. And you can place yourself in this green liquid or mist or energetic healing. Just let it wash over you. Let it go into all the places where the cords were removed from, out of your body, out of your chakras, out of your energetic field. This green healing energy is permeating every cell in your body. It's going into your bloodstream. It's going into your DNA. It's making you new and whole and healed. And now we're going to place that same green healing energy, or light, or liquid, whatever you're feeling, around that other person or situation, whatever it was that you were letting go of today. Just going to imagine that wherever those cords were removed from, there's now this beautiful, wonderful, calming, healing light and energy going in, making that other person or situation new and free and more peaceful. And we bless the situation or the person, because everything negative that happens has a lesson or a learning for us. It was part of our history and our past, but it doesn't have to be something we take into our future. So now that that healing has happened, I want you to imagine turning and walking towards a bright, distant sun, a horizon. It could be a colored light, whatever you see or feel. Just imagine yourself going off to this bright future, whatever that's represented by. And you're feeling healed and calm and peaceful. There's love. You have clarity. You have guidance. You have motivation to go and live your life without anything holding you back or holding you down. You feel free. Just as you're starting to come back from the process, just bring a little bit of movement very gently back into your body and your fingers and your toes. Just start to move a little bit. Just bring that awareness back. Reconnect with your body. How do you feel? I get a bit emotional when I do this. So, do you feel better? Lighter? I bet you do. Please drink some extra water today. Be extra kind to yourself today and gentle. Acknowledge that you've done something remarkable, something that has effectively released and cleared any energy that you didn't need. And you can come back to this video anytime you like. You can choose to release anything that no longer serves you, that you're ready to let go of. You can do it anytime with anything. You've now got this tool. And when you do things like this for yourself, where you take care of your energy, you make space for more positive, good things to come your way. And that's what this is all about. With love and light. Until next time, the Book Sherpa. Enjoy.